Hello, this is Evangelist Dr. Robert L. McKim Sr. And yes, I have the authority under the law, even Ohio law, to call myself doctor. Just because the Universal Life Church is way out in California in another state does not mean that when they issue a doctorate degree that is not legal and standing in any other state. It is legal. Why would the U.S. United States District Court say so if it isn't true? United States, united, all 50 states, people, especially Neil Hallbolt and John Henry Andrews, or I should say Dr. John E. Bob, holding yourself out to be a doctor when you're not a doctor. And, oh boy, it's just so, so crazy how you people think. When you're really not even thinking, that's the problem. You're not thinking. You're running your fingers on the keyboard, and you're typing with what you think in your own intellect, in your own mindsets, what is real and what is not real. You don't want to think the Universal Life Church is real. That's a real, actual place. A real, actual church that has members that goes there. You want to think it's just an online, internet church only. And then, see, here's a comment that Neil Hallbolt had made on my YouTube. Telling me, well, for one thing, I should calm down. But then he goes on and criticizes the Universal Life Church and says that it's legality, legal entity within the state, or legality in the state, is basically only within California, is what he says, basically. And that Ohio chooses not to recognize them. Oh, wait a minute. If Ohio chooses not to recognize the Universal Life Church, then why did I get this from the state of Ohio, the great state of Ohio? Huh? Licensed to solemnize marriages under the Universal Life Church's name. The Ohio does recognize the Universal Life Church. You're just flapping your jaws, using your own stupid intellect, just to constantly attack me. And you're basically attacking the Universal Life Church as well. Well, you have no legal authority to do so. Then you go on, say, which is not recognized by the U.S. Department of Education, or Education Department. They're, God almighty. You don't listen. That's your problem. You do not listen to anything that I am saying, and you're basically only taking bits and pieces of what I'm saying and putting it together to make it what you want it to say. Just like you do with God's Word. You pick and choose. You pick and choose. You pick and choose what scriptures you want to say. And then you pick what books you want to believe in. And you pick basically, like this other preacher friend of mine on Facebook and YouTube has said and did a video on ripping pages out of the Bible. Oh, I don't want to believe in that one. I don't want to believe in that one. I don't want to believe in that one. Start ripping them out and burning them up. That's what you're doing. You're always saying a Christian should obey every single law. That seems kind of funny. Because, well, where is that? I didn't highlight it. But, Apostle Peter. Peter. Do you remember Apostle Peter? Huh? Peter? Oh, why, you know, why should, basically, here we go, there it is. Let me highlight that so it'll stand out a little bit better. Apostle Peter said in Acts 5, verse 29, but Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than who? Men. Why? Because there are a lot of stupid laws. Stupid laws that shouldn't even be on the books to begin with. But because people complain, then they put these stupid laws on the books. And in 2 Timothy, and I know there's a lot of people out there do not want to, you know, go to Timothy because, oh, you know, Timothy, you know, they just want to make up some kind of excuse. It's only the books of Paul, what Paul had wrote, and what Paul had said is for the church. Timothy in 2:3 said, you therefore must endure hardship as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. But then he goes on and says in 15, be diligent to present yourself approved to God, a worker who does not need to be ashamed, rightfully dividing the word of truth. We're rightfully dividing the word of truth. You see, we got to divide the word of truth and put things where they're supposed to be. Then he goes on and says, nevertheless, the solid foundation of God stands, having his seal. The Lord knows those who are his. Let everyone whose name, the names of Christ, depart from iniquity. And then down here he goes on to say in 23, but avoid foolish and ignorant disputes, knowing that they generate strife. And you see, you guys want to keep bringing up my doctorate degrees. Constantly wanting to bring them up. I'm just trying to prove you to the truth. Point you to the truth. But you don't want to go there. You want to constantly bring up strife. Who's the true Christian when it comes right down to it? You tell me, Dr. Johnny Bob, that I'm a lunatic. Your videos prove it. You're the only one that doesn't know it. Just leave us alone. Well, why don't you start first? You start first. You leave me alone. You do not say nothing on my YouTube videos ever again. And you retract everything that you've said. You retract all the name calling that you have called me that I have proof of. And you retract you're calling yourself a doctor. But I know you're too proud with your own intellect to do something like that. But you know what? As I had stated, you're the ones that are constantly stirring up strife. I'm not. I'm just telling people the truth. Universal Life Church is recognized by the state of Ohio. And now, let me go here real quick to this video. Try to find it here. Here we go. I think it's toward the end here somewhere. Doctor, you can call yourself doctor, and but then there's a lot of people constantly coming down on me on my YouTube videos because I call myself doctor, and there's some people coming down on me and saying that you shouldn't be calling yourself doctor. I keep trying to tell them this place is compliant with California law, and you know I can call myself doctor, but they're still constantly coming down on me hard about this issue, and they don't even really want to believe that Universal Life Church is a real church. But so you know, there's just, to me, it's more of people's own perceptions on what is real and what is not real. And even though, you know, they are real, it was established in 1959, and they've, you know, had to fight for their existence ever since.
So I'm on their website, and I'm reading. I'm in their frequently asked questions section that says ULC degrees can accredited. I understand that the ULC degrees are accredited. By whom are they accredited, and what can I do with one? Says the Universal Life Church issues several degrees, and all degrees are issued by the church are recorded in the permanent church record. The degrees convey rank, title, or status within the church. They do not convey academic standing or achievement. They are accredited by the International Accrediting Association, which is the accreditation arm of the church. This means that the course...
Now I'm going to stop right there playing that. Here real quick. Well, let me freeze it. Hang on a second. As you heard, that guy I was talking to said he was reading, he went to the Universal Life Church website, their own website, and looked up about their degrees. And he was reading what it says on the site, that they are accredited by the International Accreditation Association. Let me see here if I can...
Related to the issuance of church degrees and titles, you should contact them.
Yeah, I've...
Conversations with the church?
What's that?
Have you had conversations with the church and or the California, whatever the California entity is that regulates higher education?
Yeah, I have, and of course they've told me that, well, the church have told me they basically really don't care what other people think, you know, and I can't really get information on the Accreditation Association or getting any, like, a phone number or anything to contact them. But I have the that code that from California all that information.
And does the state of California recognize them?
Yeah.
Oh.
Even the U.S. They had to go. They had to go back in I think it was 69, to the U.S. District Court out there in California, and the U.S. District Court had recognized their right to issue degrees.
Okay. Well, since they would have no regulation with us, it's really kind of hard for me to comment on them. I would defer to their accreditor and then the state in which they are operating, which would be California. So, really, the answer in Ohio is that they're not authorized, but they would maybe be exempt because they're just offering distance education courses, and we don't authorize out-of-state institutions that offer distance ed. So that's
okay.
the only information that I would have on them. Yeah.
Basically, the state of Ohio does not recognize any. Basically, how they are saying it, they don't recognize any out-of-state education, long-distance education. Any. Period. And it doesn't matter if it's Universal Life Church or the other training I took from let's see, find my degrees and diplomas here. Actually, if I remember right, I don't have that one. I don't know why, and I having trouble with my printer. Sometimes it'll scan, sometimes it won't. But the diploma that I earned through the mail from the Stratford Career Institute in Psychology and Social Work, that was an out-of-state institution. So basically, that wouldn't even be recognized under Ohio's so-called standards of higher education and what they want to recognize and what they don't recognize. In other words, if you go to another college or university outside of the state of Ohio and do an online course, the state of Ohio won't recognize them either. They do not recognize anything outside of the boundaries of Ohio. But yet they do recognize the Universal Life Church. So he was just grabbing at straws. He really didn't really, do any true research on this issue. But I have done extensive research in this issue. Look it up before you start running your mouth. The problem is you don't know how to look up things like I do and research things like I do. Instead, you just want to keep running your mouth, running your fingertips, and saying things. Why? Now, basically, you're saying all the other ordained ministers that's living in the borders of state of Ohio that had took courses with the Universal Life Church, basically, they don't have the right to call themselves doctor either. It isn't just me. There's other people. There's other ministers. I'm not the only one. But yet you're attacking me. You're constantly attacking me on my YouTube and my Facebook. It's like you have nothing else better to do than to attack me and constantly call out my degrees and my right that I earned to call myself doctor, whether you like it or not. And you see, it isn't that the U.S. Department of Education doesn't recognize. It doesn't recognize. It says right here, however, some religious institutions or agencies choose not. They choose not to seek recognition by the U.S. Department of Education because they do not wish to be connected to a government agency. Right there in yellow, I highlighted. Read it. Don't believe me? Ask him yourself. But the state of Ohio does recognize the Universal Life Church. And the state of Ohio does recognize my doctorate degrees, except for the fact that they just don't want to recognize higher education or any education outside of the borders of the state of Ohio. Is basically what I got from that guy. So if I took an online course with any other college outside of the state of Ohio, if it was a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or a doctorate degree, they would not recognize it. I had to basically go to a college right here in the state of Ohio for the degrees to be recognized. Which I totally think that is, if you want to go with constitutional law, it should be unconstitutional. And I know I have it. Before my time runs out, I'll show you the state of Ohio's Constitution. I have to go in here to my library and pull out this big humongous folder I got here. Hang on a minute, I don't want to be that close. Right here. Well, let's see. Right here. Religious freedom. Article 18. The United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights of 1948. The First Amendment. And, hang on a minute. I know I have the, copy of, I got a lot of laws here. So you're seeing that I don't know what I'm talking about. Somewhere here I had a copy. It might be in my other booklet. I have a lot of. See, okay, right here is a copy I have of hang on a minute, that was the one where they went to state of California. Alright, here's the other one where it was 1974. Fact that the plaintiff distributes ministers' credentials and honoring of Doctor Divinity certificates is of no movement. Such activity may be authorized as number 2, mass conversions at a typical revival or religious crusade. Neither this court nor any branch of this government. Oh, that means the state of Ohio has to recognize my degrees by federal law. No branch of government is allowed to deny the Universal Life Church right to I thought I had the state of Ohio's Constitution here somewhere. I know I did, but long story short, I got a lot of documentation that I have printed off for years, because people have been constantly saying that I do not have the right to call. Before I even started doing these videos, there was people out there saying that I shouldn't be calling myself doctor. So I've been doing a lot of research, a lot of research. Long story short, people, well, I have to basically find it and do another video on it. But when I'm a little bit more rested. Move, pretty girl, move. She likes getting right in my way in the hallway, right in front of the furnace, and then doesn't want to move sometimes. She's about as stubborn as some human beings are at times. Well, anyhow, I'll show you later when I find it. The Ohio Constitution that also recognizes religious education. So, talking about law. Right there in black and white. No government, no branch of government in the United States of America is supposed to deny their right of issuing degrees and to say that their degrees are not legal. So it means no person in the United States of America has the right to say I'm not a doctor when I am. I studied, and I earned the degrees. The only thing that you're constantly earning, Neil Hallbalt and Dr. John E. Bob, is the stupidness that you're constantly dishing out. You're constantly calling me names. But you know what they say when somebody points a finger? three are pointing back. God bless you. Have a blessed day.